Yeah, well, Ug99 is an interesting story. I mean, it arose first of all or was found first in Uganda in 1999. That's where the name Ug99 comes from. What it actually is a strain of stem rust, a variant, I suppose you'd say, of wheat stem rust that is virulent on many of the resistance genes that have been bred into modern wheat varieties. Okay, so it has the ability to overcome many of the resistance genes we've actually put into a lot of the varieties that are being grown around the world. So that makes it particularly dangerous. And the international work that's gone on since then has shown that it's present all the way down into South Africa and right across the Horn of Africa into Yemen and also into Iran. So we believe it's actually spread from that central point where it was first detected in Uganda. One of the interesting things about Australia is that we are isolated from other parts of the world. So what we see with our rust flora, particularly with the cereal attacking rusts, is that very occasionally we get an incursion of a foreign isolate of a rust. We don't know where these things come from usually. We don't know how they get to Australia. There are a number of mechanisms by which they can get here. But what we found is invariably when they do get here, they do cause a lot of damage. So I would say that yes, Ug99 is a big threat to Australia, but equally I would say any rust that we don't have here, any exotic rust we don't have here, must be seen as being a serious threat. There are three rust diseases of wheat. One is leaf rust. Worst case scenario, leaf rust can cause about a 40 to 50% yield loss. Stripe rust can cause 60 to 70% yield loss. Stem rust, which is what Ug99 is, stem rust can cause complete yield loss, can kill a crop. We have seen that in East Africa. Ug99 has done that. In Australia, the last time we saw that was 1973. We had a stem rust epidemic that affected South Australia, Victoria and southern New South Wales, and the estimated damage bill from that single epidemic of stem rust at that time in 1973 was $300 million. Rust diseases are what we call social diseases. They affect the industry as a whole, so you can't implement a control strategy on a single farm. It has to be a whole of industry approach. It is possible if people are not mindful of the importance of genetic resistance and also the importance of fungicidal control, where, you know, in situations where it's not possible to grow a resistant variety, and sometimes growers need a certain agronomic package in a variety and there's not a rust resistant variety that fits that package. So in those situations it's very important for farmers to use a fungicidal control package.